The US government has been hiding a lot of secrets from its citizens. From the 1950s to the 1970s, for example, they conducted a series of nuclear tests that exposed thousands of US soldiers to radiation poisoning. In the 1960s, they were studying the effects of radiation on human beings by purposefully exposing them to radioactive substances. And in the 70s, the CIA was experimenting with LSD as a potential weapon. But none of these experiments can compare to what the government did in the early 2000s, when they created a portal to another dimension. Today, we will be diving into secret government documents that revealed the truth behind this interdimensional portal. If you want to find out more about this top-secret government project and how it led to the disappearance of over 30 people, stay tuned until the end. In 2004, 3 separate portals were said to have been opened by the US government through a top-secret project known as Gate X. The portals are said to have been opened at the Nevada National Security Site, which is a remote stretch of desert used by the United States government for nuclear testing. It's also the same site where the infamous Area 51 is located. Gate X was allegedly developed as a method of transportation for troops around the world. This may sound like a futuristic fantasy, but the documents claim it was very much real. According to one of the leaked documents, the project went beyond anything the world had ever seen before. Here is what it says. It involved the use of theoretical physics and mathematics to create artificial doorways or portals to anywhere and everywhere in the universe. Unfortunately, this document, along with others containing sensitive information about the project, got into the wrong hands and was leaked to the public. The government immediately began searching for the source of the leak, while news of the top-secret project spread across the globe. Portal to another dimension. What does this mean? People started wondering if we would soon be able to travel to other dimensions or even other universes. The government kept everything under wraps for years until one former employee of the Nevada National Security Site came forward with the details of what really happened during the Gate X experiment. And what he told the world is both shocking and tragic. There were 4 phases of the Gate X experiment, each becoming increasingly dangerous. Phase 1 involved sending inanimate objects through the portal, such as cameras, dogs, and even armored vehicles. Everything that went through the portal came out the other side unscathed, although the exact location where they ended up was unknown. The person who came forward said that there was no way of knowing exactly where the objects would come out on the other side of the portal. All they knew was that it was somewhere else. During Phase 2, the military decided to send people through the portal. Volunteers signed themselves up for the experiment, with many believing that they would come out the other side in another part of Nevada. However, the moment they stepped through the portal, they vanished without a trace. At first, only 8 people volunteered for this experiment, but eventually 32 had signed themselves up. Unfortunately, all 32 of them disappeared, and their bodies were never found. This is where things start getting weird. When the military tried to open the portal again to retrieve the volunteers, it didn't work. As soon as they turned on the machinery, the portal collapsed in on itself and sucked everything nearby into its swirling vortex. This included several trucks and equipment that were near the portal. At this point, it was clear that the portal wasn't just a doorway to another place. It was a doorway to another dimension. No one knew what could be lurking on the other side, but whatever it was, it seemed to be dangerous. Before they could figure out what to do next, the portal suddenly activated on its own and began sucking the ground beneath it into the swirling vortex. The military scrambled to shut down the machine, but it was too late. The entire complex collapsed into the ground, and a massive sinkhole formed where the portal once stood. To make matters worse, 2 more portals then opened up and began sucking everything into them. One by one, different parts of the Nevada National Security Site disappeared as the portals ripped them apart. When the government realized the danger they were in, they did something very uncharacteristic. They didn't try to hide it. That's right. Instead of telling everyone that a portal to another dimension had opened up and was tearing the military base apart, they released a statement saying that an experiment at the site had malfunctioned and caused the ground to collapse. They claimed that no people or equipment had been lost and everything was fine. However, after the fourth and final portal tore apart the last remaining parts of the base, they had no choice but to tell the public what had happened. Overnight, the government had turned the entire event into a disaster movie. A top-secret experiment goes wrong, and a portal to another dimension opens up, swallowing everything in sight. But this is where things get even more bizarre. Because according to the official government report, the portal wasn't just some scientific accident. It was actually a deliberate attack by an unknown enemy. This raises a lot of questions like who was responsible for creating this portal and why did they destroy the military base? According to the report, the portal was created by a group of highly intelligent extraterrestrials. They had somehow learned about our technology and were now using it against us. The report goes on to say that the aliens didn't just create the portal to spy on us or abduct some of our citizens. They actually wanted to invade our planet and take over. It seems like they were using the portal to send their troops into our dimension. But fortunately for us, their plan failed. The portal ripped apart the military base and destroyed their invasion force before they could even set foot on our planet. Some experts have suggested that the government is lying about the existence of the portals and the extraterrestrial invaders. They say that the government is just trying to cover up their own mistakes by blaming it on aliens. There is no proof of either the portals or the aliens. And even if they did exist, it's unlikely that the government would be so careless with their top-secret project. Others believe that the government is telling the truth, but the documents that were leaked are just a small part of a larger cover-up. They say that the actual story is much more complicated and involves things that we are not ready to hear. The truth is, we may never know what really happened at the Nevada National Security Site. The government has done a good job of covering up the incident, and it's unlikely that anyone will come forward with any more information. But one thing is for sure, the incident was not caused by an earthquake. Even though Nevada is known for its earthquakes, the machines used to create the portals would have been destroyed if the collapse was caused by a natural disaster. Plus, eyewitnesses reported seeing the portals open up before the collapse occurred. The incident was also not caused by a tornado. Tornadoes are common in Nevada, and they could have easily ripped apart the buildings and equipment. However, the portals would not have been able to survive a tornado, and eyewitness accounts say that the portals were still standing when the collapse occurred. Finally, the incident was not caused by a volcanic eruption. Nevada is home to several active volcanoes, but none of them are located near the Nevada National Security Site. Plus, there were no signs of volcanic activity in the area at the time. So what did cause the collapse? Well, unfortunately, we may never know. Now that you know the truth about the portals, what do you think really happened? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Thanks for watching.